Alright, so we are live streaming and we have some tests to run. Again, I don't know if I should, post this again. Yeah, we're doing another live stream, I guess. Alright, let's see how it's going on the chat. We're live! We're live! We're live! We're live on the air! We're doing some testing. We're making things. We're live streaming. Let's go to the live. You all, and I think we should be live right now. Now. So I think we're good. Yeah, we're live, right? Let's see here. If I move over here, looks like we are set up and rolling. We have some delay. Alright, yeah, we're good. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do in checking this this print here. So we got some 3D printing done, and we're working on a new little design to use in our tool bag, right? So what we have here is a connection. We have so I designed all of these little 3D printed connections here for some tubing structure that I have. These are 3/4 inch aluminum tubing, and what happens is you have this little screw tie here. All right, you have this little screw that goes in and out. That just screws into the 3D print, and then what you do is you slide a tube inside of there, and then you can essentially you can slide the tube inside. You slide the tube inside of there, and you could adjust where this thing is going up and down, right? And then you lock it in place by screwing the top in. But I need to make a more extended display stand. So what I just designed was a double screw, right? Let's see here. So this is a double extended through drive, I guess. I don't know. Like it's just a little extended bracket here. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna take two tubes and put them together. It only takes an hour and a half to print. What I did was I reversed the threads, which it'll work there. Then, unless I do have to reverse it, yeah. Let's see. Oh, snap. Okay, so I see what I did here. Okay. So I have the threads reversed because I mirrored it. So that is one thing that I need to fix, okay? Because all I did to make this was mirror the top and the bottom. So I actually have to mirror the screws, which I didn't really want to do. So what I'm going to do here instead, I'll show it in the CAD, is I'll make a quick adjustment in the CAD to be able to change this out. Alright, well, let me see first if this goes in here. If I could even do this properly. So we're gonna go in here. Yeah, that's gonna work. And then another one is gonna come here. That'll go in like that. Then another tube is gonna go in on this side, and then match it. And then I'll have a structure, a taller structure, to be able to work with. So that's going to go in there, and then that will tighten up inside. All right. But one thing that I really need to adjust before going any further is to reverse this screw, which is a good thing I got this test out of the way. I really, I just wanted to see if it would fit. So that's going to be great. If we look at this, I'll be able to make a taller stand and have a support going across on the very ends. Multiple supports. So that's going to work. What software you use? I currently use Fusion 360. All right, and so right now I'm gonna make here. Let me kind of. We're going into 3D printing mode here. We're going into 3D modeling mode. So pardon me. There. Quick adjustment there. We're gonna do here. So we have the Bamboo Labs open. We have Bamboo Studio open, and we're just gonna pull up the. Go to this live here. So we're just gonna pull up the Fusion 360 here. Pull this. So I really messed up in terms of, how I did this. All right. Put my little monster guy right there so you know I'm actually speaking. All right. And then kind of hide that a little bit, put that off to the side. All right. So what I did here, I messed up a little bit, all right? So what I really need to do is reverse that thread, which frankly, I may cheat. I think I'm just gonna cheat. I'm gonna take that mirror away, suppress this mirror, all right? Suppress that, and what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna copy this. I really don't care about this file that much, all right? So instead of doing all that jazz, I'm just gonna go here because I don't want to have to reverse that thread, and then stack it. I'm just gonna stack it, all right? Because I'm really about fast, so I'm going to move, but I'm gonna move a copy, create a copy, and then we're gonna go point to point. So from there, origin point, and then select a point, create a copy, right? And then I'm just going to merge them, all right? Because this doesn't matter. That whole placement doesn't matter. That whole placement doesn't matter, all right? And yeah, I'll just bring this down 1/4 of an inch. And then bring this down 1/4 of an inch, just for some space. All right. Oh, wrong way. All right. And bring this down 1/4 inch. All right. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to merge these two. So now I have the same part, right? Where before the threads were different because I mirrored it. I just flipped it. I flipped this whole thing mirrored on a plane. So when I screw that in, the threads aren't the same, right? That's a reverse thread, even though I designed something in here that the thread works. So instead of having to deal with all of that, yeah, I'm making a new thread, I'm just going to copy the part and merge it. Quick and dirty 3D CAD. All right. New component. All right, I could do that. And we have a new part. So this is kind of like our whole structure system we have for the stands. We have like a base stand here, and then there's hooks that also I made, which go on the side, which just works with right angle aluminum tubing, all 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch right angle aluminum tubing. All right, so we'll just hide all that. So we have our part that we created, which is this guy. All right, hide that. Like that. All right, now we have our part. Just gonna edit this, put a little radius on it, because who cares? 0.125. All right, just put like a tiny little radius on that. And in general, it's pretty good. That'll work for us. All right. I'm gonna take that body and then export it and throw it into Bamboo. Throw it into Bamboo Labs. Call it the double hollow extender. All right. Save that. Then we're gonna open up Bamboo, and then I'll throw this here. This is good. Save that. We're also making these guys, which is pretty fun. So this is our last tube extender. I really, so silly, but it's gonna take like 1.5 hours to print. Same piece, right? Double hollow cross tube extender, 755. Cool. So I'll throw that in there, and then all right, and that should be good. One thing that I will want to, I'm gonna change slightly, is the amount of wall, the inner wall. I want to change the wall layers. So I'm gonna go here and increase the wall thickness. Top shell thickness, bottom shell thickness, wall loops. So I'm just gonna give it 4. Slice that, see how long it takes. 2 hours. I decrease it by 1. 2 hours 45. Okay, that's fine. So just gonna send that to print. Yep. Send that. Okay. So now we have that out the way. We're gonna get back to our main goal of today. Alright. turn that on. And then we'll get to see that start up, all right? So that's going. That's 3D printing over there. And then we'll kind of bring this here and show you what we're really doing today, which is actually working on the acrylic phone stands. Oh, thank you very much, though. Thank you for the Alright, but this is a really quick 3D session. The main goal tonight is doing making acrylic phone stands. Yeah. Okay. So now we got that out of the way. Time for to teach you how to do some acrylic bending, right? We're working on our acrylic phone stands here, and I'd like to show you how we make parts. All right, so this is kind of, I could show this a little later on in the stream, how this 3D printed part works, but basically you have a thread, and that goes in there. But now we fixed it, so we're gonna have threads that are, we don't need to make new knobs, because I have a whole bucket load of these little 3D printed knobs here. Alright, but tonight we're making more phone stands, more acrylic phone stands. And in the future, everyone, I want to let you know, this is Ampere Makes Live, right? And Christian industrial designer, I like to be positive, keep things upbeat, and we'll be sharing some stuff about making today, right? Making for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is great, and we are imbued with him as creators to do all things, and with in mind to solve problems practically and physically, right? Mentally, spiritually, in all facets of life. So let's put this aside, and I'll show you what I'm doing with these phone stands. All right? We are making acrylic monster phone stands. So first, one thing that I have to do is turn on the water bucket. Alright, I'll plug in our device here. And then plug in our water bucket. Alright, so now we have water pumping into this machine. We already have 2 pink panic pats made. Let's make 2 more or so. Let me get some water under the belt here. Ooh. Alright. So this is our Pink Panic Pat character. The Pink Panic Pat practices peace over panic. And what she does is keeps those impatient times that you have where you feel perplexed by all the problems that persist in your daily life. The panic that keeps you at bay from pirouetting along a placid pond. The Pink Panic Pat gives you new perception, new resolve, to seek peace rather than the imperfection that comes from a panicked perception. So this is the first step in all this sort of acrylic stuff. It's just taking off these little paper parts here allow you to get to plastic to bend. I noticed when I got these manufactured in China through Alibaba that they left a little bit of the area. They left quite a bit of the area not the paper not pulled off, so that it protected a lot of the acrylic. Right. In my circumstance, I think I'm okay. Right. So first thing we do is turn on our heater here. Right, turn it up to 70. And we have our trusty cooling can. And we're going to get started bending up these parts. So this is some sheathing that I use to keep all the heat away from parts that I don't want heated. So I'm interested in anybody, for these live trading, these maker sessions. What do you like? What are the things that keep you motivated and moving throughout the day? Be able to build stuff, create things, and just overall have a good golly, great time. Because that's what it's all about. That's what making's all about. Having a good old time. And being able to share. That's the big thing when it comes to making things. The opportunity that you have to be able to share in the moment is something that most people have never had before. Where I could share what I'm doing right in the middle of doing it. Right? Rather than sit here by myself in silence, I could kind of ramble on about how cool it is to do stuff. So if I did a last session, this may help if I did have a little bit more light. I'll show it once I get this bend done. There, that's really nice. That heat was great. I can hold it there, and then this section of so that's right on the 70 mark. All right. All right, so that's great. That was a nice bend. That was a nice one. I like that. Really good. Really good one. Turned out pretty well. Turn the heat up again, right at 70, and let that sit a bit. I do have to get my watch. Oh, yeah. So yes, I am making acrylic phone stands. These are phone stands right here, right? And you put your phone like that, and you could purchase them on my website, auntpierremakes.com, as well as read the books that go with the phone stands. Right? This is just one component to the children's toy products that I design, which is the Monsterverse phone stands. This is the Pink Panic Pet character. Right? They go like that. That kind of shows the product there. And so here, at this point, where you see what's going on right here, is that I'm, heating up on this tube bender the acrylic. So there's a line. This is a tube line, right? And you got to heat it up enough to be able to bend this acrylic part. Right? So we almost have enough heat. This is a really nice heat that we have going on right now. Nice and even. And then I bend the part like so. And then place it here up against the edge. Turn off the heat to protect it a bit. This is actually a really nice one. And what I do there, kind of pinch it like so. Make sure it's level, make sure it's even. And then give it a little cool can. Cool it down a bit. Yeah, that's nice. Yep. All right. And then the last one, we do one more bend here, which is going to be for the bottom legs, right? All of them have a little third leg right at the bottom. So it sits flat like so. Yeah, so you have the phone stands right there, right? I guess I could kind of go out a little bit. Gives a better picture of what's going on. Okay. All right. All right. And this one, you really got to be careful with the temperature here. Like, I have it at a good temperature right now, but like if you ever look up like the Chinese acrylic benders, things like that, manufacturers, they're really cautious about when they're bending. They usually have like a hole. They sometimes heat up the whole sheet, but for precise tube bending like this, you really need to just target an area. All right. Nope, that is not ready. That is not ready to bend yet. A little bit more heat, buddy. A little bit more heat. Then it kind of sits flat like so. You just got to be a little careful. Let it sit flat, and then we hit it. We hit it. We hit it with some automatic cooling. All right. Nice. All right, and that's pretty nice. That's another phone stand ready to go. How fun. All right. If it's it's. If it's. All right. We're just gonna take off the plastic here. Take off the paper, protecting the character. A little ASMR, I guess. One phone stand down. We can't get a little closer, I guess. What's going on here? I'm gonna make, I think, another pink panic here. So it starts off like that, and then we take off, of course, the. I could just move it down a little bit off camera. So we take that off, right, and then take off this little paper here to expose the arm. Most laser cut parts already come with all this protective on there, so you're not messing up the actual finish. Because like when you're dealing with all these clear things, especially if you want it to look nice for a customer, these are going to a craft fair in Rhode Island at the Rhode Island School of Design, my alumni. All right, and you always just want to tear it off relatively carefully. So. So is anybody else like a maker, designer in this chat? Do you like making stuff? Is it 3D that you make? Is it, just, is it quilting, right? Whatever it may be. Are you making pottery? What do you make? What are the things that you enjoy making? Right now, I really just like 3D printed things. It's easy, accessible. Everybody's got one. And I like setting a little timer. Right? So we're going to set a timer for that. Art. Be heated up. We just bump it up. It's faster, of course. that's taken quite a little bit of time compared to some other. It's very even, which is nice. Like that's no bubbling, which is what I'm gonna have to do for the. So I'm gonna have to do for the matte acrylic. It's not as good. It doesn't this matte stuff doesn't bend the same. The guy's like, oh, it bends easier. Oh, dude, like I did a bunch of these. Like I know what I'm talking about. It's like, oh, dude, there's no difference. There's no difference. Yes, there is. There's totally is, Burrow. You bend it. Is it paused? Oh, maybe I paused it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, like as soon as that bubble, like I gotta heat it slowly. You get the bubbling, the bubbles. You get too much bubbles here. Right. I made a mold previously for these, but yeah, it's not the best. It wasn't the best. I think I kind of did better by hand. Kind of an eye thing. If you got, I got to pinch in the arms, right? So you gotta sit and let that simmer. Sit and simmer. So we got the timer here. This, I was like, I don't know. It went a little faster yesterday. I had the heat turned up quite a bit compared to today. But once it start bubbling there, we gotta move the heat, little wiggles. Wiggle it back and forth like that, right? To get more even heat. There we go. Right, so now that's good. Really knock that down. Right. Give it a nice bend over. Give it a little bend backwards. A little bend backwards, right? And then we do some shock treatment. So turn off the heat here. Little shock treatment here. And then we're good. Nice, nice. Another pink panic pet, ready to go. So I think 4 or 5 should be enough of each color. Yeah. 4 more. Right? I'd like to do these guys. All right. 2 more orange. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna get out some of the other colors. But man, how intense is that orange, right? Tangerine for sure. Yeah, take up the whole scene. Like an orange filter. And this is the Ornery Orange Ox Learns to Be Open. It's the book that goes along with this character. All right. And we just want to protect the horn, the top there, and let that sit, let that rest. Poke a bomb. So maybe I don't know. I want to show you. So this is the book here, the Ornery Ox Learns to Be Open. Right. Had illustrated by John Paul Federico, and the story written by me. Prepare for openness over orneriness. In all our ordinary occurrences, may we have an open attitude and outer expression to regard others as more important than ourselves. Nice. Cold blast from the past. Which is great because it doesn't harm the acrylic at all. You know? Like heat sets it there. A cold blast from the past. So that our heating coil will last. A difficulty that you have with this machine is that uh, over time, the heating coil, my water bucket, I have this all hooked up to a little water bucket right there, and it is likely to get too hot. Check the water temp. We're doing pretty good right now. It's kind of lukewarm. Well, it's not. Yeah, it's like room temperature. Yeah, that's nice. That is good. All right. But this fine thing where like waiting patiently versus if you're not really Johnny on the spot, you can mess it up pretty bad. Oh, this is one thing I do want to check. It's out of focus. So I gotta take the phone case off to really test it out. There's this flexing involved. That don't want to flex it too much. That's good. That's good. Okay, that's nice. I could have maybe pinched in the arms a little bit. It's kind of right catching on, but this is a really small phone compared to what most people have. This is just a Samsung A1, so most people have like a bigger, thicker, wider phone. But that'll work. That'll work. Gonna peel off this excess. Its little teeth off there. His little askew. He has some askew horns. It's a little off kilter. A little annoyed. A little. But he learns over time that when you're open with others, there is a hope that we have. Openness. And what does it mean to be open? You know, when we can be honest with others, right? About how we're feeling. When we don't have to lie. We don't have to manipulate to try and get our own way. That's part of openness. Right? So ornery is the word for this monster. What does ornery mean? O-R-N-E-R. Ornery. O-R-N-E-R-Y. Right? What does it mean to be ornery? Annoyed. Easily combative, which is something that would happen to people that aren't open, of course. And they always want to get their own way. I tried to find some, there are some correlating verses, Bible verses, that I added in the book here. The verse that I highlighted for the ornery orange ox is right here. So I think this is a perfect opportune time to be able to share some of the book, right? Right? And the ornery ox learns to be open. And one of the main things, how do you spot the ornery? The ornery ox often isn't invited on outings, as ox's oppressive attitude can be onerous on one's mood, and has all the little words definitions down there. Ornery means that we express outwardly a stubborn, easily combative, and annoyed attitude towards others. We allow the ornery ox in us to be in opposition with others and become outraged. Even when out on small occasions, we can often show outward anger by being ornery with others. So it continues on. It really has this alliterative story about it, as well as physical products, right? All the little physical products that go with this character, which is the squiggle arm phone stand. Get back to making. That was that one. I kind of angled it a little bit further. All right, that should be nice. So little bit more of the book here for the ornery orange ox. All of them back here, they all have a so openness. I really love this page. The old ornery ox within ourselves will only ripple out on the surface when we take our mind off of the goal to be open to new challenges. Openness helps us get rid of the ornery one-minded stubbornness that oppresses our inner peace. By opening up our arms to others as often as we can, bringing joy to others will become an ordinary occurrence. And it goes through this, all the letters, all the O words that are in the book. There's quite a few. And I wanted to go to the verse here, the Bible verse that goes with being ornery. Which, what does that mean? Being hot-tempered, right? Proverbs 15:18. A hot-tempered person stirs up a conflict, but the one who is patient calms a quarrel. And we have all these different being open when feeling ornery, annoyed, hot-tempered. Practice active listening. Share your feelings. Reframe your thoughts. Engage in open dialogue. All of these things allow us to be more open and enjoy an attitude of graciousness. So right there, that's good. But there's a lot of flexibility that you have in the time making that. Kind of like on it. Oof, clean. It's a really clean bend. It's a really clean one. I'm getting the heat down pretty well. Look how clean that bend is. Bubbles, no nothing. And it really is about getting that temperature right. Getting the temperature right and at the right time. If you go too hot, at the beginning, it's going to start bubbling up faster. It doesn't heat up the whole layers, the whole stack. Go this a little closer. Yeah, and we're about halfway with our 3D print too, which is nice. That is nice. We like that. Like that. We like you very muchy. Alright. That's nice. Monster phone stand. So we're gonna do one more ornery ox. And we have some other characters that we have to complete. And we're almost halfway with our 3D print as well. So once we get that 3D print, we'll throw on another one, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. Keep on printing that up, frankly. But let me know if you would like a link to this sort of equipment. I'm sure if anybody has experienced like a model shop before, I was a model shop monitor when I was went to Rhode Island School of Design. But if you'd like to see what this machine is, I can certainly link you. It's like it's in the comments, right? It's the difficulty is you're gonna have to find someone to laser cut your parts, or you could always use send cut send and put that in chat. That was about right. difficulty with that. I haven't seen like I haven't really seen like the Chinese manufacturer acrylic benders do that to, you know, pull it down faster. But I guess you can. If you have enough air duster. I think only got a little can right there. I don't think I have too much left. But it works. It works. Yeah. It's a little scratched up. That little kick down is kind of what we need. Let's see it. Yeah. So that fits. That's nice. Another nice phone stand. What? It's pretty well. Fun stuff. So yeah, we have this live 3D printing going on too. Yeah. We're kind of halfway on that point. And once that's completed, I'll show you how cool it's gonna be. Okay. Clean this face up a little bit. And I'm actually gonna go get my green characters. We got 4 greens. We're gonna do 4 green and then 4 blue. The green is a little bit difficult. First, I got a little side project. Another little side project that I forgot to do. Just gotta do a little business card thing. Okay, so I'm doing a little side project. So sorry, I took a little hiatus. Had to print something up. Print a business card. But we got our snack. A little stingers. All right. You hear that in the background. Nice. Yeah, I'm taking a little snack break. We're doing good. Oh, okay, good. Okay, that's out of the way. Okay. Oh, that's out of the way. Got that. Got that. Wow, halfway done with that thing. So let's get this cooking here. Let's start making the Goofy Green Goblin. The Goofy Green Goblin goes from gas to goodness. Oh, we got probably our other. It's done. So this guy here, this is the Goofy Green Goblin Goes from Gas to Goodness, which we have him right here, right? The Goofy Green Goblin, the Goofy Green Goblin. So the Goofy Green Goblin goes from gas to goodness. How do we get away from our gaps? By giving over to good thoughts that our God in heaven has given us. Right? How do we move past all those? So people like this really green color. This green character. Really good. There, right. I kind of really want to judge here what the timing is for that. So this is the Goofy Green Goblin Goes from Gaffs to Goodness, right? A prayer for growing in goodness. May the goofiness that goes too far be given over to the goodness that guides us to greater goals. With graciousness, may we grow in generosity, giving glory to God, growing in gumption, to go beyond grandstanding in front of others, with goofs and gaffs, garnering genuine growth. Alright? So there's a gargantuan amount of G words in this book, I'll tell you that. 64, pretty sure. 80, a grandiose amount of G words. And the Bible verse, at one time we were foolish. We too were foolish, disobedient, deceived, and enslaved by all kinds of passions and pleasures. Titus 3:3. But with God on our side, we have renewed and a glorious mindset, a renewed mind. So that takes about a minute. So I'd say like a minute 30 at that temp. It really is dark on this black baseboard here. This is why I don't know if I'm like the most entertaining live streamer. Because it's like, my goodness, I just make stuff. Right? I just make stuff. Not like, besides my Bible devotionals, I have a little bit more straightforward approach, but wow, it is nice to have this sort of this balance between having to always be locked in and have something to say versus when you're making. So the making is part of the saying in a sense. There we go. That's a minute. Minute 30. So the making part is kind of the talking. You don't need to say a bunch of stuff while you're making things. You're just doing it. You're just doing it, man. You're just doing it. Why talk about it? Just do it, man. Like Nike. Cool. May want to find water's still pretty good, but I could probably swap this out. Maybe do like a couple more, and then swap out the water. Give it a chill time. Certainly when they're at 72%, 72% for the 3D print over there. Right. Over there, we're at 72%, which is nice, And then once that's done, we'll check it and give you an update on if it fits or not, which it will. We know it will. These green ones are a little tricky in that it has a thinner mouth. So I gotta be careful where I place my pressure. Here. Put them into place. Whoop. Bit of a burn. So I just gotta be careful, delicate to really place it and not flex too much where I don't want to harm the mouth there. All right. That is nice. All right. That's good to go. Wow. He is pretty. Look how pretty that is. Oh, translucent. He's got a little little bit of goop on him. A little bit of goop. Goop. Goop, goop, goop. I'm a goofy goober, Gab. You're a goofy goober, Gab. Goofy goober, goober. Goofy goober, goofy goober, goofy goober, goofy goober. Yeah. Right. Oh, that is nice. Look at that. Whoa. Clean. Clean, clean, clean. Clean up another one here. I think I could get away with like 2 more of these guys. Changing out the water. I have noticed that some people do these on, TikTok. Yeah, I could do a little TikTok live. Let's go a little TikTok live. Yeah, we'll do a little TikTok live here. Not a lot. Okay. Yeah. We're making stuff. Yeah. Fun, fun, fun. Alright. We got our acrylic bender. We got our monster characters here. Alright. This is the goofy green goblin. We're going to be doing some acrylic bending for this character. Alright, get this out of the way. Can't show any product on TikTok. But you could always visit my link in the bio, though. Right. Leads you to the TikTok shop. But this is an acrylic phone stand. I'm doing my heat bending process. Acrylic heat bender, right? So take off the plastic like so, right? Turn up the heat. Let it go. Ah, let's start here. That's going to take about a minute to really heat up there. So time that for a minute. Hey Rachel, making some, uh, making some, hey Rachel, hi, making some acrylic phone stands here, doing like a live YouTube and live TikTok, right? So I'm making some phone stands here. It takes about a minute. So we got about a minute left. Well, now a minute, 40 seconds, and then I'll be able to bend this arm here properly. Because we got to do some monster making. This is the character right here. All right, little phone stands. This is what we're making. We're making little monster phone stands. All right. You go like this, like that, go like that, and he holds your phone. All right, right in place. Look, we are good. Oh, almost good to bend. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right. So we just hold that in place for a little bit. Then what I do here is I take some of this duster, right? Pull it off. Bend that in place there. There we go. Fun, fun, fun. Fun, fun. Ooh, that's clean. That's a clean bend, my friend. That's a clean bend. Blah. Really only need one sheathing for this. Start that. Yeah, that's a clean one. It's a nice one. Ugh. Yeah. So this is another, we're bending up the phone stands here. I don't know if you could tell. This is the little goofy green goblin phone stand. And we made them out of laser cut acrylic. And now we are bending them in place using an acrylic heat bender. Right? A bunch of different ones here that we're doing. Like the Pink Panic Pat phone stand. Right? That's another one. We got a little heat bucket over there. Alright, we're at a minute here. Nice, nice, nice. That's a good bend, friend. That's a good bend. So I kind of just hold it like that, right? Then I zap it with some air duster. Pull it off real fast. Right. Kind of play with the hand a little bit. Right. Then throw it back on the heat plate to bend up the legs here, which is the last step. I'm sure not many people are showing this sort of thing on TikTok. Like little heat bending tools. You see a lot of 3D printing, but not much acrylic work. Right? Yeah, like I also have a 3D printer running in the background. Oh wait, AMS filament ran out. Ugh. Ugh. How did that happen? Alright, I need to address my 3D printer actually. I'll bend this one up, but my 3D printer just ran out of filament. So I have to go check that out. I have no clue why. I had a full reel of that thing. Ran out. Unless the film was too dry. So we're also making in the background some 3D printed parts for and a rod extender, a double pole extender for 3D printed part. All right, so I see hear some bubbling. That means we are good to go. All right. All right, turn the heat off there. Good, so flex it back and forth. All right, and then I have no clue how I ran out of filament. All right, here we go. That one is nice. Tested. Completed. Alright, so I'll be back. I think I gotta get off this TikTok live because my 3D printer just messed up. We have to deal with that issue. Unless I'll actually, let's go live into the 3D print room. If you guys also want to see, I'm not just making acrylic phone stands tonight, I'm also 3D printing. It's a whole night of making for an event coming up this weekend. Whole night of making with Aunt Peter Makes. Okay, put that down. All right. So we just saved that print, guys. Anybody who saw that on YouTube, we saved it. Nice. Studio. All right. So good on us for saving that 3D print there. We're able to do that, which is nice. Stop that, and let's get another one of these acrylic phone stands made. We got two ready to go. We got our pink panic cat. We got a good green goblin. We got another one to make here. I'm only gonna make 4 of each of the colors tonight. We got some time. I really like this. Green and brown are my favorite colors, and orange. I don't know. I can't give up. I like a lot of colors. Am I obsessed with any colors? No. Do I like a lot of colors? Yes. Some people get obsessed with colors. I know someone. I like someone who is obsessed with colors. It's a particular color. I also like. She likes a little bit too much. A lot. Now, right here we have another phone stand ready to go. We'll set our little timer there. We're going to be doing this for 1 minute. And this is the Goofy Green Goblin. Goes from gaffs to goodness. This is this character. And then we're making the Squiggle phone stand. Alright? The Squiggle phone stand for the Goofy Green Goblin. Goes from gaffs to goodness. May the goofiness that goes too far be given over to a goodness that guides us towards greater goals. With graciousness, may we grow in generosity, giving glory to God, growing in gumption to go beyond grandstanding in front of others, with goofs and gaffs garnering genuine growth, rather than goofiness, if you would say. Right. So if anyone's not seen this before, this is an acrylic bender. Now you could pick these up. I haven't really seen any on TikTok Shop, but I would certainly sponsor one. I would certainly sponsor an acrylic tube bender. Alright, the heat's going okay. Alright. So it's usually about like 1:30. That's where I want to go to. Yeah. 1:30 gives us a nice clean, solid bend with this translucent plastic. Alright. Alright, nice. Slide that over. Pop that on there. That's good. Yeah, maybe a little, that's a little too, it's quite angled. It'll work. Right, and then we kind of reset that one. Pause that. Give it another 1:30. I don't know what any of these things go for with, you know, all this, all these little TikTok games. But I usually use, I enjoy YouTube. Right? Sure, nobody on TikTok Live is bending up acrylic phone stands right now. So if you're in that place, if you're looking for that, you found it. It's something unique in the making sphere. Hopefully everybody here is a maker. We like to make stuff at Ampere Makes. Nice. Look how clean that one is. Look at that bend. Look how clear that one is. Yeah, I went a little tight on that. We're just gonna keep that in place. Hold that there. And then our last bend, the legs. I think our buckets of water's getting a little warm. After this, I'm gonna have to switch out. I'm gonna have to get off live, switch out the bucket. we got warm water in the bucket, it's not good, because then what happens is if the water's not circulating through this part here, we are going to be melting the plastic, the aluminum, because the water is circulating through this aluminum chassis. And if it's not circulating through the chassis, it starts melting your part as you're bending it, right? Which you don't want to do. You don't want to. I don't know if you could hear the bubbles going. Nice. All right. So yeah, we're definitely going to change out the water bucket here. All right. That is good to go. All right. That's good to go. All right. So for now, I'm going to take these guys, put them off to the side, and then change out this water bucket. Because yeah, that's getting a little too warm. We don't like that. All right. Peace out, TikTok. Bye. Bye. I gotta go. Gotta change out my water. All right, guys. I think the YouTube live's got to end because we have to change out this water bucket ASAP. And it's a little extensive. I don't want to hold anybody up. Oh, hey Jackson. Hey, yeah. So I'm actually in the middle of changing out this water bucket. All right. We have been heating our stuff for some time now, and I have to change out this water. It's getting too hot. Yeah. That's cool. Okay. Ugh. So yeah, that's what my advice would be. I really haven't even uh I really haven't even paid off my 3D printer pricing at the moment. I got a lot to pay off. But I have a full-time job, so it's not that bad. All right. Sure, we got some water. We got a big bucket of water here. Underneath a lot of equipment. Oh, jeez. My studio, it's a tight studio space, but I don't mind it. Right. Oh, snap. So, it's just gonna do a hot swap. Gotta hot swap this water tank. Next. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Jeez. Okay. So, we got this. We got our water going again. We're gonna get back to this, and then our 3D print is gonna be done soon, which is nice. All right. So let's plug our acrylic bender back in. All right. Got that. Get this up there. Nice. Cool. Cool. I think once my GoPro camera gets out of battery, I think that's kind of a sign to quit streaming. I could swap out the battery, but it's just a pain in the neck. And I've been going for over an hour, so yeah, it's 2 hours, 2 hour stream. Wow. So 2 hour making stream. Making things with Ampere Makes. I make things on the internet, on the interwebs. Right, so I don't know if anyone new that's joined, right? Hello, sub. Subscriber. That what I'm making tonight is the acrylic iPhone stand. It's Squiggle arm iPod stands. And if you want to get a useful tool, this is another useful tool on top of 3D printers, all that. Acrylic bender. So I set that there. All right, pause that, and then 1 minute and 30. Ah, excuse me. I have had multiple seltzer waters today. Nice. Ooh, almost done. Almost done with that print. Oh, nice. So this is coming along pretty well. Got quite a few characters done. I'm gonna get the blue character, and then, yeah, I'm gonna do 4 Boohoo Bobs, right? And then after that, it's gonna be a night. This has gone pretty well. And also, my print. Oh, yes! Yes! My 3D print is done! Yes! Yes! Alright, for those who have been waiting this whole stream for that 3D print to be done, even after its small mess up, I did mess up a little bit. I had to do a filament swap. I can show you a new design that I made for a tubular construction. Alright? Fun, fun, fun. And then I'll show you guys. Alright, alright, alright. So that's gonna, yeah, alright. We're gonna finish this off. This file, this last duster too. Alright. That is nice. Look at that. That is a nice bend. That is a good that is a good phone stand. We made it look good. It hold your phone perfectly. Perfect. Perfect. No wobbles. No wobbles. No wobbles. How fun. Okay. Let's clean that up a little bit. Right here. That up. And then let me go get this 3D print off the build plate. It is complete and it is definitely gonna work. Actually, let me take you guys along with me. Ah. Okay, we're good. So I'll take you along for the ride. I don't have a microphone. Okay, I finally have the part here, which is nice. So we have our 3D printed piece. So I'll show you what this is for. So remove the filament here. Nice, okay, good. So I have this part made. Okay. Nice, nice. Good, good, good. Great. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. So let me show you what this thing does. All right, we have two things here, right? We have a thread on the inside of this part, right? So we could take that out and then put a thread inside of it. And then we also have another thread, right, which I fixed. Right, so we have two threads. Perfect. My last one, I messed up. So what this does for me, essentially, allows me to extend these aluminum tubes. Right? Put that inside of there. Put that tube inside of here. I'll take that out. Got still a little bit of support inside. Okay. Put that inside of here. All right. And then it goes up, right? And then I take another tube. I put it inside of there on the other side. Look at that. We have okay. All right. We have an extension. We have a tube extension. How great, right? So now I can make this pretty tall. Now I have this little stand here, right? All right. So with that, this extension, I can raise this up higher. Wow, how great is that? Boom, boom, boom. Then I have an extra height instead of using two, and then this is a cross support. So this will run along each one. So that'll be pretty nice. That's gonna be pretty nice. Fun stuff. Thought of that today, literally as we're walking home. This is the wonderful thing about CAD. I don't need to remodel anything. I just took what I had. And I just take this off. Then put that back in. Boom, boom, boom. All right. How cool, how cool. So I think we're done for the stream. This works. All right. We made something new. Works fine. Nice job, guys. Cool beans. So I'm gonna print up a couple more of these so that I have them. It's little tube extenders, and then be able to, have them ready for this upcoming weekend. Fun stuff. Oh. Yeah. This is it. Little tube extension. How cool is that? So in the meantime, got a lot done tonight, frankly. Made a new tube design. And then, wow. Yeah, really cool. Cool stuff. So I think I'm gonna 3D print some more of these and then turn off the stream because we are pretty cooked for tonight in terms of streaming goes. We're done with that. We're all set. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. That's so great. Yeah. I was all worried, like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I don't have enough equipment. This is gonna be perfect. It'll work. Nice. All right. Peace out, guys.